Israel has once again refuted accusations of genocide brought by South Africa to the International Court of Justice, also called ICJ, in response to Israeli military operations in Rafah, Gaza. In a statement to the ICJ, Israeli Justice Ministry official Gilad Noam rejected the allegations, including claims of mass graves and torture. Noam emphasized Israel's awareness of the civilian population in Rafah and Hamas's use of civilians as shields. Contrary to South Africa's assertions, Israel described its action as specific and localized operations aimed at safeguarding civilians with prior evacuation efforts and support for humanitarian activities. This marks the third hearing on the conflict between Israel and Hamas initiated by South Africa, with the ICJ deliberating whether Israel's actions violate the 1948 UN Genocide Convention. Addressing South Africa's allegations, Israel labeled the case as divorced from facts and circumstances, dismissing it as a mockery of the charge of genocide. Noam reiterated Israel's stance, characterizing the conflict as a tragic war rather than genocide. Israel maintained that it did not initiate the war with Hamas but was compelled to defend itself and its citizens against attacks. Israel lamented the short notice given for hearing, highlighting less than 24 hours to respond to South Africa's request. The ICJ hearing was briefly interrupted by an anti-Israel protest, further underscoring the contentious nature of the proceedings. South Africa's recent filings urged the ICJ to order Israel to immediately cease its military offensive in Rafah and allow unimpeded access for humanitarian workers, investigators, and journalists into the Gaza Strip. Additionally, South Africa requested a provisional measure for Israel to report its compliance with these orders. South Africa described the situation in Gaza as reaching a new and horrific stage, with Israel's offensive in Rafah threatening the very survival of Palestinians. Despite Israel stressing its commitment to international law, describing South Africa's case as wholly unfounded and morally repugnant, tensions remain high as the legal battle unfolds at the ICJ.
Madam President, members of the court, for all the above reasons, Israel requests the court, in accordance with Article 60, paragraph 2 of the rules of the court, for the reasons given during the hearing of January 12, 2024, and any other reasons the court might deem appropriate. 1. To reject the request for the indication of provisional measures submitted by the applicant. 2. To remove the case from its list. Madam President and members of the court, that concludes Israel's observations. Thank you for your kind attention.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.